The perfect venue for an event makes all the difference, but not if you blow your whole budget on it. This video, I'm going to share with you how to find the perfect venue for your event and still be profitable. I know what you're looking for. You are looking to create an incredible experience, a transformational experience. You want people to walk away from your retreat or your event feeling elevated, educated, and inspired. And you know how important a venue is to making that happen. So I want to share with you some of what I've learned about choosing venues for large and small events. I've done events up to 700 people and as small as 4 people. So I've found venues for all different kinds of events, and I've learned a thing or two about what to do and what not to do. So the first thing I want to share is that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money on a venue to have an amazing event. And in fact, that's one of the mistakes that I made early on and many times, which was overspending on my venue. Now, I've also made the mistake of underspending on my venue. So I'll share with you a little bit about how I look at the criteria for a venue and how I look at budgeting for the venue. So one of the things that can often happen is that when we overspend on a venue, especially when we're doing a bigger event and we have to book our venue way in advance, what can end up happening is that investment that we make up front, that commitment to the venue, whether it's a hotel or an event space, generally it comes with some sort of payment, like we have to make a big deposit or a big commitment to make a payment. And what can end up happening is that can put a lot of pressure on our event. And pressure, in my opinion, negatively impacts your ability to produce and fill a great event. Why? Well, just from a simple energetic perspective, what I've seen and what I've experienced is that when I feel pressure, when I feel desperate even, that I need to fill an event, that I have to make something happen, first of all, I'll often do it. I'll often make it happen, but it doesn't feel very good. It's not fun. It's not graceful. It's not easy. Or sometimes I don't get the result because I'm so attached and because I'm so desperate. So what I've found is that when we overcommit, when we overinvest in the venue, it can negatively impact our energy around the event and people's experience of our selling of the event, enrolling and registering people in the event. Now, the flip side of that is also true. So we're looking to dance sort of in the middle here. The flip side is that sometimes investing in a venue can put on just the right amount of pressure to force us to get in action and to force us to produce the event effectively and fill it and market it and do all the things. So we're looking for something kind of in the middle. We want to find a perfect venue and have some pressure, but not so much pressure that it really creates frustration or resentment or fear around the event. So one thing you can do, and one thing that I've loved doing, is find a venue for free. Find a free venue, then you can take all that money that you are planning on investing in a venue and you can invest it in marketing and filling the event and creating an amazing experience. So finding a free venue is usually about finding a place that needs your audience. Now, sometimes you can't get the event for free. Sometimes you'll have to pay costs associated with that venue. So for example, you might pay for them to have a security guard present or a cleaning person present. And these are ways that you can cover their costs but still give them the benefit of exposure to your audience. If you are going to do a free venue, if you are going to do a trade, you want to make sure that you get the results and that you track the results that are generated from the event. A great place to find venues that are looking for people, that are looking to maybe host an event for free or for a very low cost would be a chamber of commerce. Investing the $500 or $600 back in the day with the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce was one of the best things I ever did. I found almost every event venue that I had that was low cost or no cost, I got through the Miami Beach Chamber. Why? Because new businesses, when they launch, usually go and become a member of the local chamber. And the local chamber's job is to help them promote and fill their business. So generally the chamber is going to know, hey, the Women's Club of Coconut Grove just got renovated. Maybe they're interested in hosting your event. So they can be a great lead source for venues. Another great source of low-cost venues are public buildings. See, your taxpayer dollars are supporting certain buildings in your town or in your city or in your county. These are libraries, museums, public university buildings, theaters. There are all sorts of buildings that you probably don't even realize your tax dollars are subsidizing. And because you're a tax-paying citizen or member of this community, you might be able to have access to these buildings at a reduced cost. So our other venue that we used to host the Women's Success Summit was the Miami Planetarium. So the planetarium is a venue that has a theater, it has event space, it has cool exhibits. So it had all these different places that we were able to use and pay a very minimal fee for because I was a member of that community. Again, your local chamber of commerce is going to be a great resource to find out about these buildings. Hotels are probably the most common and obvious venue for events, and that's for good reason. They provide a lot of amenities, a lot of support. You can do catering through hotels. They usually have really solid, well-trained event staff on site. So hotels are a great place to host events, and they can be a little bit expensive. So if you're going to use a hotel, here are a few things you need to know about booking a venue. The first is that you can actually go to a hotel and rent a room. You can say, hey, what are your meeting rooms and how much are they? And they might have small meeting spaces, they might have big ballrooms, and they might have prices associated with renting each room. But what you may not realize, especially if you've never done this before, is that hotels will often give you the room for free if you buy food or rooms from them. In other words, if you have an event and you know for sure, and this is important that you know for sure, 30 people are going to come and stay for 3 nights at the hotel on site, then you can negotiate a much lower rate or waive the rate altogether on the room rental in exchange for committing to, let's say, 30 rooms for 3 nights, aka 90 room nights. Now here's the kicker though. The problem with doing that is that if you sign a contract like that, you might be liable for any rooms that don't get rented. So be ultra careful. If you don't want to be on the hook for those rooms, then you can also pay money for catering, get the venue room for free, and then get a courtesy room block, which doesn't commit you to any number of room nights. So there's these 3 things are kind of in play. There's the room rental that you're going to do your event in. There's food and beverage, which is your catering department in the hotel. And then there's your groups and facilities, like the stays, right? The overnight stays. So these are the 3 things, the 3 levers you can play with to minimize your costs. So the best way to do it is if you know for sure that people are going to attend and they're going to pay for their own rooms, that would be the way to get the best deal, because you might not even have to do food and beverage if you know for sure you're going to have a certain number of people staying in the rooms. Just be careful. You might be liable for any rooms that don't get rented. And sometimes they offer something called attrition, which means like, okay, you're responsible for 90% or 80% of those rooms if people don't show up, but not 100%. Just take a really close look at your contract and negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. If you don't ask, you don't get. And know that these hotels really make a lot of money from bringing in a group. You're bringing them a lot of business and you're helping them fill their rooms. Now, another way to get venues for events is to rent them on Airbnb or VRBO. This is my favorite strategy for smaller retreat style events, is finding a house that's big enough to host our event in the common area, and then we've got rooms for me and my team to stay in, and sometimes even for our participants to stay. One thing you'll want to watch out for if you do go this route is to make sure that you have permission to host your event there. There are some owners that will not allow you to host events on their property, or to move furniture around, or to bring in rental furniture if you need to. So make sure that you're honest with people and that you check in upfront if what you plan to do at their event is okay with them. The last thing you can do to find a great venue for your event is to, and this sounds super simple, but it works, post on Facebook. Let your community do the talking, do the walking. Let them find your venue for you. Share what it is you're looking to do, share how many people you want to bring, and get people excited about the vision of it, and then ask for any venue referrals or recommendations. I have found some of my favorite venues this way. In fact, we hosted a Women's Success Summit twice at this venue that came through a Facebook contact who just said, hey, have you checked out this center in Miami? And I'd never even heard of it before. And it was beautiful and well-equipped and had everything we needed. And it was cheap too. So ask your community, ask your network, and go that route as well. Leverage who you know and what they know to get your venue. If you like this video and you want to plan and monetize your own events, you can click right here and go to my playlist for a whole bunch of different videos on how to design, fill, and monetize your own events. Enjoy.